Thank you. Is it on now? Yes, it's on now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall we begin now? Okay, there was a network issue on my end also. Is it stable now? Is it better now?
So your voice is breaking up.
You're breaking actually.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'll move close to the router. It'll be better then. Okay. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. So I want to start with the comparison words firstly. So the first word that I want to cover is more and less. I know all of you, they're very simple words, but trust me, these simple words are really important to cover. So when do we use more and less? When we're comparing between two or three items. For example, I want to compare between A, B, C. There are three items. Let's imagine A scored 5, B scored 6, and C scored 7. So when you make a comparison, you'll say C scored more than A and B. C is more than A and B, like that. So I'm telling you this because later on we are going to do another word, maximum, and we are going to learn the difference between more and maximum, where to use maximum and where to use more. For now, I'll tell you more we use when the comparison is between limited items. For example, here the comparison is just between 2-3 items, so we use more. C is more than A and B. Similarly, B is more than A. And the same way less we use, A is less than B and C, and B is less than C. Okay, now let me explain the importance after doing maximum. Okay, so now let's imagine we have 6 things. We don't have 3 things, we have 5-6 things. For example, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and F is scoring 10. So we'll write F is maximum, A is the minimum. Maximum means more than everyone. More than everyone. A is the minimum. Why am I teaching you this? Because when a graph comes and you have 2 things, for example, you have 2 things, like you have girls and boys, and you will be using the word more and not maximum, because you're comparing between boys and girls, that is 2 things. And when we have comparison between 2 or 3 items, we use the word more and not maximum. We will say just more. And when we have a comparison between like 20 students, or 10 countries or something like that, we'll be using the word maximum, because the maximum, the comparison is between multiple items. So I just wanted to explain the difference here really quickly. Is it clear when to use more and when to use maximum?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so between 2 and 3 things, more, and between multiple items, it's maximum. And I'm going to ask you in the graph when it comes that what word should we be using then. Okay, the next word I want to clarify is increase, decrease. So when do we use them? When the comparison is over time. For example, we have one person only, for example, A, and we have years, multiple years given. There's a time period given. So in 1990, he scored 5, in 2006, in 2010, 7. So it's increasing. So that's why we say increase. It's happening to him. His bands are increasing. So what happens normally when I take classes, what happens? Student use increase at the wrong place. For example, in B, for example, in the same year, 1990, B scored 6. They'll write B increased. It should be clear that B did not increase. Neither A increased, neither B increased. A is less than B. We are going to use less here, not word increase or decrease. We use increase and decrease when the same thing is given. For example, A, and we are comparing over multiple years. अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ तो जब years दिए होते हैं, जब over time comparison करना होता है, तब हम increase decrease लगाते हैं. जब किसी और के साथ comparison करना होता है, something else we want to compare, we do not use the word increase or decrease. We are going to use the word less or maximum or more, something like that. We are not going to say increase and decrease. This looks very simple, but trust me, it gets more complicated and more difficult when you do the exam. You sometimes make these silly mistakes. So remember, when we are comparing A with A itself, but over a different time period, 1990, 2000, then we use the word increase, decrease. We are not going to use the word when we are comparing A with B. We are never going to use the word increase, decrease when we're comparing two different things. Okay, कुणाल जब हम दो चीजों का comparison करते हैं तो हमने more, less, maximum मतलब ये words choose करने हैं. But when we are comparing the same thing over a period of time, like A scored 1990 में 5, then A again in 2006, that's when we are going to use the words increase, decrease. हम increase, decrease use नहीं करेंगे. जब हम A का B के साथ comparison करेंगे तो we are not going to use the word increase, decrease. Is it clear? We use increase, decrease, same thing का comparison. I'll take a graph and explain. Okay, just hold on. Let's take this graph, for example. Okay. So here, look at this graph. I'll increase the size. Okay. Look at this graph. This is full fat milk, right? This is full fat milk. The gray one, dark gray one. The light gray one is low fat milk. So now students do what? They'll write low fat, the price of low fat increased like this. 69, 70 से 72. It's not increasing. This is not how you look at it. See, अब कैसे देखना है? When to use hard and simple past in any graph, I'll explain. Let me come to that. Okay. Increase ऐसे use करना है. देखो यहाँ पे full fat की price है 70. This is first year. Then the second year, the full fat की price यहाँ पे कितनी हो जाती है? 70 से गिर के हो जाती है 68. Then 68 again. Then 67. So यहाँ पे हम बोलेंगे कि full fat की price decrease हुई है. We are not going to look like this. Full fat से low fat नहीं जाएंगे increase decrease में. यहाँ पे जो word आएगा वो आएगा more than. कि low fat की price was more than full fat. यहाँ पे ऐसे देखेंगे जब हम 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 ऐसे देखेंगे तो we'll be using the word decrease. कि full fat की price decrease हुई थी. यहाँ पे ऐसे देखेंगे इनका कंपैरिजन करेंगे तो हम इंक्रीज डिक्रीज वर्ड नहीं लगाएंगे बिकॉज दे आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. we'll use the word less and more. Full fat price is more than low fat milk. Is it clear difference कि कहाँ पे more use करना है, कहाँ पे increase decrease use करना है?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So be very clear when we use these words. Okay. Now let's come back. Okay. Okay, so I say fluctuate, be increase, decrease. I've showed fluctuation also. For example, 5, 5, 5, that's stable, remains stable, sorry. And then when you have a fluctuation, 5 to 6, then 6 to 5 again, same range mein wo ghum raha hai, that's fluctuation. When it's roaming in the same range, that's a fluctuation. Okay, now we are going to do the comparison of different words. So the first word I want to cover, different comparison words. This is it, these were the basics. Okay, so now I want to show you the comparison words and how they are used. And this will be really helpful because yahan pe na, trust me, a lot of students get them wrong. So the comparison words that we normally use in graph are while, whereas, by contrast, on the other hand, but, however. So I'm explaining kaise kab kisko use karna hai. So first let's cover while, whereas. So now let's cover two sentences. Sales of A increased, sales of B decreased. We want to make a comparison. Okay, clear? We want to make a comparison between A and B because one is increasing, the other is decreasing. First of all, remember, there will be no comparison if both are increasing. If sales of A increased and sales of B increased, it's not a comparison. It has to decrease or it has to show a different trend. It has to show some different trend. Like for example, sales of B could remain stable. It could fluctuate, but it cannot increase. If it's increasing, there is no comparison. Okay. Now, let's see when do we use while, when do we use by contrast. So if you just want to compare the two sentences, for example, sales of A increased, sales of B decreased. We don't want to join the sentences. Then we use by contrast and on the other hand. So look at this. Sales of A increased, full stop. You're ending that sentence. The sentences are not being joined. On the other hand, sales of B decreased. So that's when we use on the other hand or by contrast. We are making the comparison, but we are not joining the sentences. So it's a new sentence. So you'll write the first thing, sales of A increased. On the other hand or by full stop, you'll end that sentence. Then you'll start a new sentence. And here you're going to make a comparison with the previous one. So you'll say, by contrast, sales of B decreased. Or on the other hand, sales of B decreased. So you are making a comparison, but you're not joining the sentences. While does the same thing, but it also joins the sentences. Look here, sales of A increased. Here, there's no full stop because it's joining the sentences as well. There's a comma here. While sales of B decreased. That's the difference between on the other hand, by contrast, and while and whereas. Is the difference clear? No, you can't write by colon. You have to write a full stop. It doesn't join the sentences. It has to be a new sentence. Is it clear for everyone what I explained? I can repeat it. Nishta, is it clear or no? No? Okay, let me explain in Hindi. Okay, if I'll explain. Dekho. Let's imagine I like swimming. My sister likes badminton. Now I want to make this comparison. मेरे को ये comparison करना है. अपने ग्राफ में लिखना है कि मुझे ये पसंद है, अब मुझे स्विमिंग पसंद है, पर मेरी सिस्टर को बैडमिंटन पसंद है. अब यहाँ पे ना हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन है. वी हैव टू ऑप्शंस. एक ऑप्शन है कि मैं ना आई डोंट वांट टू जॉइन द सेंटेंसेस. आई वांट टू मेक टू डिफरेंट सेंटेंसेस. When I want to make two different sentences, I'll use by contrast or on the other hand. I'll say, I like swimming, full stop. I'll end that sentence. Then I'll start a new sentence. So here I'm starting a new sentence by writing by full stop. And then I'll start a new sentence by writing by contrast. My sister likes badminton. ये होता है by contrast and on the other hand. They do not join sentences. ये sentences को join नहीं करते. ये नया sentence बनाने में काम आते हैं.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my connection is not stable. Is my voice clear, everyone?
Yes, your voice is clear, but too low.
Too low? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it low for everyone or is it better now? I can increase my volume.
No, sir. Perfect.
Okay. अच्छा, अब देखो, if you don't want to
तो
combine,
कॉमा बाय कंट्रास्ट के बाद ही लगेगा और
yes, बाद में ही लगेगा. Always, it will be always. Now let's take the second.
नहीं सर, और ऑन द अदर हैंड के बाद भी लगेगा क्या तो?
Yes, on the other hand के बाद लगेगा. Same thing. On the other hand, यहाँ by contrast. We are going to pick one. यहाँ तो by contrast या on the other hand. You can choose anyone. No, it's not just mean it's not mentioned in the graph book, but I'll teach you this. अब semicolon नहीं, semicolon तो नोरा use ही नहीं करते आजकल हम. We have stopped using semicolon from a long time, so you don't need to use that. In IELTS it's not necessary. Now let's take up the second case. While कैसे होता है? While में sentences join होते हैं. So they join the sentences. For example, I like swimming. वो by contrast ही आएगा. उसका meaning by contrast ही है. पर क्योंकि sentences join हो रहे हैं, but because the sentences are joining, I'm going to use the word while. My sister likes badminton. Is it clear the difference? See the difference. By contrast, new sentence. While, same sentence. It's one sentence. Is this part clear? While and by contrast ka difference.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. अब ना मैं ये भी बताना चाहता हूँ. देखो, while जरूरी नहीं है तो middle में डालो. While can also be put at the beginning of the sentence. So while I like swimming, comma, my sister likes badminton. It's making a comparison and it's joining the sentence. So while I like swimming, my sister likes badminton. So here also it's doing the same thing. It's joining also and it's making a comparison also. So please remember, while and whereas will always join sentences. Now I'm going to give you two options and you're going to tell me which option is correct, which option is wrong. Okay. Okay, sales of computers was the highest in 2000, while sales of laptops was the highest in 2010, and well, sales of MacBooks was highest in 2020. So now tell me, is this correct or not? Which part of it is wrong?
Sir, incorrect.
What is incorrect?
So 2010 और 2000 में जो बीच में आपने वाइल लगाया दोनों में हाई हो रहा है एंड वाइल जहाँ पे आई थिंक सर हाई तीनों में हो गया है तो
This while is correct or not?
Sir, correct.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the first while is
Yes, sir.
correct. Why? Is it performing both the roles? It's making the comparison, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's joining the
Yes.
sentences. Yes, it joined the
Yes, sir.
sentences. The first
Yes,
sentence,
sir.
second. Okay, clear. Now look at the second while. This while is not joining anything. It might be making a comparison with the previous sentence. Okay, it's making a comparison. Okay, the sales of laptops was the highest in 2010, but the sales of MacBooks was highest in 2020. It is making a comparison, but it is not joining sentences. There's only one thing in this while sentence. It cannot be a right sentence. In a while sentence, there has to be two things which are compared with each other. There is no other thing. So this while is wrong because it's not joining anything. Here, if I wanted to use a word, I could have written by contrast. Yes, exactly. I could have written by contrast. Sales of MacBooks was the highest in this. But then I will not use so many connectors. Here also I'm making a while, then again I'm doing it. So let's imagine there was only one sentence here. Sales of laptop was the highest in 2010. Then you wanted to make a new sentence. You could have written, by contrast, sales of MacBooks was the highest in 2020. Is it clear? This part? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
While and उसमें difference clear है by contrast में and on the other hand में अगर है तो फिर I'll go ahead. Anyone has a problem? Ask me.
That means no.
Jeremy, can you repeat that?
By contrast वो थोड़ा
By
problem.
contrast में ना by contrast the sentences को join नहीं करता. It makes a comparison. However, I'll explain. Sales of laptops was the highest in 2010. See, अगर मेरे को sentence join करना है, if I want to join the sentence, I'll put a comma here and I'll put a while. That's what while does. It makes a comparison, but it also joins the sentences. Whereas and while is the same. Whereas and while में कोई difference नहीं है. They do the same. They join the sentences and they make the comparison. But if I don't want to join the sentence, let's imagine I want to make a comparison. I want to tell the examiner there's a different thing happening. I want to make the comparison, but I don't want to join the sentence. Then I'll put by contrast here. Or on the other hand, you can use any. Both are allowed in graphs. By contrast or on the other hand, and then you can say sales of MacBooks was the highest in 2020. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now let's come to but and however. But and however are also the same. They are used in the same way. But joins the sentences, however doesn't join the sentences. So for example, let's take sales of laptops was the highest in 2010. If you want to join the sentences, use a but. If you don't want to join the sentences, use a however, and then tell the next sentence. However, sales of MacBooks was highest in 2020. So the same thing. Is it clear? But and however, also the same difference. But there's another difference that I'll cover. But same. But joins sentences as well as compares. However, does not join sentences. It compares, but it does not join sentences. Is it clear? If it's clear, I'm going to ask you whether it's correct or not.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me, is it correct or not? Some people believe parents, students, children learn more from friends. However, others believe children learn more from parents. Is it correct or wrong?
So no,
Correct.
however, but will
Correct.
come, but
Yes.
after friends, but will come.
And if I want to use however, then what will I do?
New sentence.
From the next sentence.
Stop,
Okay.
full stop.
Yes, full stop and then start from the new sentence. However. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, perfect. Now let me tell you the difference between but and while. There's a difference between but and while. So now let me tell the difference. Okay. So while we use, see, देखो, while use होता है ना, तो different subjects होने चाहिए. So for example, I like badminton. And here the second thing is somebody else. For example, my sister. My sister likes swimming. Here I'm talking about me. Here I'm talking about my sister. So when we have different subjects, we use while. Now let me give another scenario. I have the same subject. I like badminton. And then I'm going to talk about me only. I do not like swimming.
Swimming.
When we have the same subject, we use but. When we have the different subject, we use why. Is it clear? So for example, I want to say, I like badminton, but not swimming. Because I am making a comparison with me only. I'm not making a comparison with someone else. If I wanted to make a comparison with my sister, I would have used the word while. So I like badminton while my sister likes swimming. Is the difference between while and but clear?
Yes, sir.
So while does a comparison with the same, with a different thing, different subject, but makes a comparison with the same subject. That's it. When you're comparing with the same subject. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, however and but both are the same thing.
However, but are the same. They make a comparison with the same subject, between the same subject when something happens. For example, let me give an example. Let's talk about I was sick. Okay, now you want to tell about yourself. However, I still attended the class. Now I'll use however, because I'm talking about myself only. I cannot use by contrast here because I is here and I'm still using I cannot use by contrast. It's the same subject. I have to use however. Is it clear? हाँ, अगर पहले I होता, बाद में किसी और की, if first it was I, then it was somebody else, then I could have used by contrast. So between two different subjects, we use by contrast and while and whereas. Between the same subject, we use but and however. That's the difference between these six words. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me give two scenarios then. Okay, we'll practice this because it's all about practice. Okay, I'm going to make a sentence. The sales of laptops was the highest, sales of laptops were the highest at the beginning. Here I need a word. Then they decreased. Tell me the right word here. If you tell me the right word, you have understood.
However,
While.
While. Okay. Okay. Who says however, who says while? First of all,
sir,
can I?
I, sir, I said listening.
This is a full stop. After the beginning, it's a full stop. First of all, pay attention to this. So this is a new sentence. I'm starting a new sentence here. Now tell me.
However.
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 However, or by contrast, or by whereas.
However.
However, why not by contrast?
Because the
Same
subject is same.
Subject is same. Say here also we are talking about laptops. Here also we are talking about laptops. They decreased. It's the same subject. That's why we are using by however here. Now let's imagine instead of they, we had something else. Like example, sales of computers. So, and here it was increased. Laptops increased and we had sales of computers decreased. Here what you should have used?
By contrast.
By contrast.
By contrast. Okay, good. By contrast, because the subjects are different. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone, the difference?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Moving to the next thing now. I'm going to teach you.
Sir, can you please repeat this, the last one?
See here, the subjects are different, right? Sales of laptops, here the sales of computers. So the subjects became different. When the subjects are different and I don't want to join sentences, I'll use the word by contrast. Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
So I should have used while, but I don't want to use I don't want to join the sentences. So I'm using
By contrast.
by
Okay.
contrast.
Okay.
Is it clear? Okay. Okay, let's go next. Okay, so now I want to show you another connector that I use, I like a lot. This is unlike. Okay. How do we use unlike? Let's do. So let's imagine you have something like A and B increased and C decreased. So first you have written a paragraph, A and B increased. You have written about them. Then how do you use unlike? You use it like this. Unlike A and B, C decreased over time. Here you have to write the names of previous ones. For example, you've written A and B increased and it's over. Now you've talked about them, it's over. Now you want to talk about C and C is doing a different trend. Then I use the word unlike A and B, like they are different. C is different from A and B. How is it different? C decreased over time. That's how I use this connector, unlike. I like to use it. It's a new sentence connector. It's a new paragraph only connector. I don't use it within the same paragraph. I can use it, but after a sentence. It does not join sentences. Unlike is not joining sentences at all. So unlike A and B, meaning C is different from A and B, in which sense C decreased over time. Is it clear?
So like A is 50% and
No, let's
B is also 50%, but C is
no, not 50. First, what's the meaning of increase? So from A became 5 to 7. B became 6 to 8. Both of them increased, right? A बढ़ गया, increased का मतलब बढ़ गया. So A 5 से क्या हो गया? 7 हो गया, B 6 से 8 हो गया. Is it clear?
right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But C के साथ क्या हुआ? C decrease. C 10 से 6 हो गया. अब C decrease हुआ है ना? Is it clear? C decrease. So हमने ऐसे लिखना है. Unlike A and B, meaning it's different from A and B. How is it different? C decrease. Because A and B increase हुए थे, पर C क्या हुआ है? Decrease हुआ है. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, be clear with the meaning of increase. Increase जब होगा तभी हम ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. नहीं तो नहीं लिख सकते. So A increase हो रहा है, B भी increase हो रहा है. A is becoming 5 to 7, B is 6 to 8. So they are both increasing. C is 10 to 6. So C is decreasing. It's an opposite trend. That's why I'm using the word unlike. So unlike A and B, C decreased over time. Similarly, there's another word. Unlike example I've used. Okay, let's pick an example for unlike. Okay. So let's pick a, let's see, we have a, okay. Let's see this. Okay. Full fat milk की price देखो. यहाँ पे 68 है और यहाँ पे भी 68 है. So क्या हुआ? Full fat की price क्या रही? Stable रही. Can you see? From 2008 to 2009, the price of full fat, which is the gray one, dark gray one, it's stable. But look at the light gray one, which is low fat. Low fat वाली 68 से increase होके कितनी हो गई? Price 70 हो गई. तो मैं लिखूंगा, I will write like this. Unlike full fat milk से different है. क्या different है? Low fat milk. Unlike full fat milk, the price of low fat milk increased over time. Unlike full fat milk, price of low fat milk increased over time. Yes, Kunal, perfect. So पर पहले बताना पड़ेगा कि price of full fat increase हुई थी. So you have to make a sentence like that. Price of full fat increased between 2000 remains stable. Sorry, price of full fat remains stable. Remains stable from 2008 to 2009. So the price remains stable. Price of full fat remains stable from 2008 to 2009. Unlike full fat milk, the price of low fat milk increased over this year. Is it clear? Example is clear for everyone? Low fat का full fat का क्या हुआ? Stable था. पहले वो लिखा. फिर unlike full fat, low price of low fat increased over time. Is it clear? That's how you use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this year meaning?
Over this year, इसी साल में, ये over this 1 year, between 2008 and 2009, over this 1 year.
So we are comparing between these 2 years only.
Yes.
So we have to go step by step.
No, I am just giving an example. I am not
Like we have to go. Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm just giving an example. In the exam, I would not do it like this. I would not go year by year. Okay. Okay. Is it clear? Just giving an example. Yes. I'll post the reading. I'll post the class on YouTube. That's not a problem. Okay. So abhi ye clear hai? Unlike there's another word that you can make sense of. That's likewise and similarly. Exactly opposite to unlike. So for example, price of full fat, देखो, from 2009 to 2010, full fat की price decrease हो रही है. Low fat की भी decrease हो रही है. So I'll use the word similarly instead of writing unlike. So for example, I'll write price of full fat milk decreased between 2009 and 2010. So it's decreasing. Similarly, price of low fat milk also decreased over the same period. So इसी दौरान price of low fat also decreased similarly because it's the same trend. Is it clear? You can use this also, but don't overuse it. मतलब use it once or twice in a graph. No, that's it. Yes, Palak, you had it out?
So should we start the sentence similarly from the next line?
Yes, next line. They don't join sentences. Similarly, unlike, likewise, they don't join sentences. You have to make a new sentence.
Okay.
Okay. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chalo, so we'll continue to the next part. This part is over. You have done all the comparison words that I use in my graphs. So now you know all the words. I'll write them all down. So you know when do I use maximum? You know when do I use more? You know when do I use increase, decrease? You know when do I use while or whereas? You also know when do I use on the other hand and by contrast. You also know when do I use however and but. You also know when do I use unlike or likewise and similarly. We have done all this till now. This is all that's been covered till now. Okay. Now I want to tell you something about complex sentences because I want to, because you try to make the sentences and they come out wrong sometimes. So I've taught the word maximum. I want to teach you to use it well also. I taught you how to use while. Now I want to teach you how to use maximum. Okay. So let's imagine you want to say maximum sales of, let's imagine, we'll take the example. So can you tell me the year in which the price of low fat milk, full fat milk was the maximum? सबसे ज़्यादा कब थी? Supermarket A. In supermarket A, this graph, when was the price? 2008.
2008.
2008.
Okay, good. Okay, so how do I write that? Okay, sales of full fat milk
Maximum
was the maximum in.
in year in 2008.
Okay, good. In supermarket A, right? We'll also write that. Okay, now my question to everyone is, I want to give the data also. I want to give you it's not the sales, it's the price, right? I'll make correction. Okay. So tell me, how can I put the data? I want to write the data also. It's 70 per liter, 70 pence per liter. I want to write that price also. So how can I write? Using which, with, and at. Yes, perfect, Nora. So you can use all these connectors. They make complex sentences. So for example, I have given you 3 options. I'll teach you the 3 options. So look at the 3 options here. So sales of computers was the highest at 200. One option is you can put an at and then give the data. Or you can say sales of computer was the highest with the figure of 200. So that's the second option. Or you can put a bracket only. You can say bracket, or the last option at which was 200. You can put which was 200. So you can make complex sentences like that. So whenever you have a sentence with maximum and you want to give the data as well, you have to do this. You cannot simply put a was there. So you cannot have another was here. Simply, that's a wrong sentence. So there are 4 options. We'll cover the 4 options again in detail in this one. Let's see now. So I'll copy it 4 times. Okay, so now the first option is very simple. You can say at and write the price at 70 pence per liter. That's it. Just an at and the data, nothing else. Okay. The second option is also very simple with the figure of, with the price of, with the figure of, you can write, I prefer with the figure of 70 pence per liter. The third option is you can use a bracket. So you can put a bracket and then you can write 70 pence per liter in the bracket. And finally, the which was 70 pence per liter. Is it clear how to use this? Or no? Is there a doubt?
सर
Yes.
सर जो सेकंड ऑप्शन है
हाँ जी, yes.
उसमें हम अगर दो चीजों के लिखने हो, अगर फुल फैट मिल्क भी, अगर लो फैट मिल्क भी लिखना हो.
अच्छा ठीक है, wait here. So now let's see. Full fat की highest कब है? Let's imagine low fat की highest कब है? When is it highest? First tell me that.
2009. Nah, 2012.
2008 and 2011.
2008 and 11, right? So now I don't want to make that
11.
sentence. I don't want to make that sentence because I'll have to write two things. 2008 also, 2011 also. It will make it confusing. But let's imagine it was the highest in 2008, right? Okay. So I would have written here
Yes, sir.
price of full fat milk and low fat milk was the maximum in 2008 with the figure of
Was
70 pence and 72 pence
72 pence.
per liter respectively.
Okay, sir.
Not super complex. It's easy. See, I'll tell you, it's really simple. I didn't do much. Dekho. When I wrote price of low fat, full fat and low fat was the maximum. Pehle maine likh diya, both the prices were maximum. Which year? This is a simple compound sentence. Yes. I would not make it complex, but not compound, complex. So both of them were the maximum in 2008. Clear? This much. Then with the figure of, and kya figure thi? 70 pence जो full fat की थी and 72 pence low fat की थी respectively per liter respectively. Is it clear? Is it clear? Does anyone have a doubt?
So I have a doubt in putting the word was
Which
and were.
was
Like
and were?
sometimes it's very confusing.
Okay.
Yes. Sir, in the second sentence, it shouldn't be like were in the place of was.
Okay. So tell me, ये was, why are we using this was? किसके लिए लगा? Was किसके लिए? So think about this. I'll tell you. Okay. How do I decide whether were will come or not?
Right.
The number of people was 200. People were 200. Okay. So here it was because this was is being used for number. Number is singular. So number के साथ क्या लगेगा was. यहाँ पे it's were because word लग रहा है किसके साथ people. People is plural. Plural के साथ word लगता है. Singular के साथ was लगता है. यहाँ पे जो was लगा है वो number के साथ लगा है. यहाँ पे जो word लगा है वो people के लिए लगा है. See, number of people was 200. Number 200 का है. तो सब्जेक्ट देखना पड़ता है. We have to look at the subject. Yes, Nora. And subject अगर singular होगा तो was आएगा. Subject अगर plural होगा तो were आएगा. अब यहाँ पे ये मत देखो price of full fat milk and low fat है. ये was लगा है सिर्फ एक word के लिए जो है price. अगर prices होता तो were आता. Prices of full fat milk and were the maximum. अगर यहाँ पे price होगा तो was ही आएगा. अगर prices आएगा तो was तो were आएगा. So we are looking at the subject. The subject is price here. ये price है ना? 70 is not full fat milk. 70 is the price. And price is singular, right? So price was this much and this much. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, but in the previous page,
Yes.
you have written sales was.
Sales वहां पे गड़बड़ हुई. तो वहां पे गड़बड़ हुई. Sales के साथ were आना चाहिए. That's right. Sales के साथ I made a mistake. It should have been were. Sales of computers So here it will be were the highest. If I made a mistake, it would be wrong. It should have been, sorry, what I said, it should have been were. Were the highest. Sales of computers were the highest. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Now.
Yeah. और अगर यहाँ पे fail होता तो फिर was आता. Is this also clear? So yes,
Yes.
if it's see यहाँ पे जो subject है वो है sales, so we are using were. यहाँ पे subject है sale, इसलिए was. Another example I'll tell you, the percentage of people, okay, who were happy was 80%. Now I've deliberately taken a difficult question. देखो यहाँ पे were भी है, was भी है. So I'll tell you were क्यों है, was क्यों है. ये was किसके लिए लगाया? Someone tell me. Why are we using this was? Which is the subject for this was? Percentage. इस was का जो subject है percentage.
Percentage.
ठीक है. और ये were का subject क्या है?
People.
Yes, people. So we have to think like लोग जो खुश थे. तो यहाँ पे लोग है, इसलिए यहाँ पे were आया. तो और यहाँ पे was आया वो percentage के लिए. Percentage कितनी थी? 80%. किसकी percentage? लोग जो खुश थे. तो यहाँ पे लोगों के लिए were आ रहा है, people के लिए were आ रहा है. 70 people used energy, which was the max. See क्या maximum है? 70 people, which was the maximum ना? Okay. ये question में, okay, I'll take the example. Okay, is this example clear for you, for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now Nora has a question and you answer this question. 70 people used energy, which was the, we'll take it nuclear energy. यहाँ पे was आएगा क्या was? That's a question.
वो आएगा
Were or was? Everyone.
So were
Was.
were
क्या was में were क्या?
were
Was.
Was आएगा sir.
Second वाले में were आएगा.
Okay. Logically, जो हमने logic करा उसके हिसाब से तो क्या बनता है? Were. Right? But when I look at it, when I hear it in English, was, were sounds wrong. And were की जगह मुझे क्या सही लग रहा है? Was. That's the problem. Nora, you are facing the same problem. Like when you hear English, were seems wrong and was seems right. Okay. Yes. So we'll do what? I am also confused. So I have a very good person to help me out. I'll ask ma'am. So let me ask ma'am, what will be the word here? I would have used 70 people used energy, which was the maximum. Which were the max? Which were? I would have used were probably. Okay. This question, can you tell where I got was? Yeah. 70 people used energy.
Which were the maximum?
Which were the maximum? Because we are using for people.
Which was the maximum भी चल रहा है. It's correct. Because it was the maximum number.
So if you want to use was, I think ma'am said ki which was the maximum in number. You can do it like that, or otherwise you can put for. And both are making sense here. Both would be correct. It's not a problem. That's what ma'am said. So both are making sense. Both should be correct. But if you want to make it proper, which was the maximum in number, you can do it like that so that the confusion goes away. Is it clear?
Yes.
There was or there were. इसके आगे क्या आएगा पलक वो बताओ. इसके आगे आएगा उस पे डिपेंड करता है was आएगा कि were. So let's see. There were 50 children. तो were आएगा. There was there was a pencil. यहाँ पे आएगा क्योंकि यहाँ पे सिंगुलर है, यहाँ पे प्लूरल है. अगर उसके बाद प्लूरल आता है देयर वाले सेंटेंसेस में हम बाद में देखते हैं बाद में क्या आ रहा है. अगर प्लूरल आता है तो हम वह यूज करते हैं. अगर सिंगुलर आता है हम was यूज करते हैं. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Nora, is your doubt clear? So both are fine, both are making sense. 70 people use nuclear energy, which was the maximum, which were the maximum. Both are making sense. Which was the maximum in number? You can write it to make it more clear. Okay. Okay, so just complex sentences, I told you how to do it. Was the highest at with the figure of bracket of which was 200. You can use any of those techniques that you want. Okay, so now what I was thinking is I'll take a graph and I'll write it with you and we'll end the class there. So I'll take this graph. I wanted to do this graph with you. So we'll do this graph. Whatever problems we face, we'll discuss them. And then that's it. I'll show you how to write the graph. Okay. So just hold on. We'll take it to the next page. Okay. So we have this graph on this page and I'm going to write on the right hand side. Okay. So first things first, I start by writing the introduction. And my advice to all of you is you overspend time on the introduction. So my advice for everyone is do not overspend time. Just write a quick introduction and because it won't fetch you bands. I have realized this over many years. Introduction is not the place to impress the examiner. So leave it. So 2 things I want to tell you though. Please write the name of the graph, the bar graph. Then write another word like illustrates or compares. These are the 2 words I used. I know there are other words like depicts, elucidates. There are other words, reveals. I don't use any of them because I went to a seminar by an IELTS instructor, official IELTS examiner, and he was very adamant that only 2 words are correct, illustrates and compares. So maybe the other words are correct, but I don't want to take a chance because he was an examiner and he told me he doesn't like the other words and he gave a reason for it also. He said they mean slightly something else. For example, he was telling me depicts has a slightly different meaning. Reveals is to show something which is hidden. So he said, because of this reason, I only allow 2 words, illustrates and compares. So that these are the 2 words that I use. So they illustrate what? I'll write that. They are illustrating the price of full fat and low fat milk in 2 countries. So it's given here full fat milk and low fat milk. That's what I'm going to write. Illustrates the price of full fat milk and low fat milk. I told you I don't spend time on this. Into supermarkets in the US, in the UK. The bar graphs you can write, I don't mind, you can write bar graphs. If you write bar graphs, then you write illustrate. And if you write bar graph, then you write compares. I don't mind calling them bar graph or bar graphs. They both would be correct. I don't think that's an error. In the UK, between this year and this year, between 2008 and 2012. So I wrote the introduction like this. I do not overspend time on this. That's what I wanted to tell you. That's it. For me, this is it. It's a short introduction and I don't spend time on it. Now let's come to the overall. Now here I'm going to involve you and you're going to tell me the features. So how do I do this? We have done the comparison words. Now I'm going to involve you. See, there are 3 comparisons possible here. If you look at it, first comparison can be between supermarket A and B. Second comparison can be between full fat milk and low fat milk. And third one between
Years.
Clear? Everyone, is it clear? This much? Okay. So now tell me which will be the word we'll use between supermarket A and B. When we make the comparison between A and B supermarket, which word will we use?
More and less.
More and less. Not, yeah, while also, but more and less we use more less. Ke zyada kiska hai, kam kiska hai, and while also. While you can use any place. Full fat milk and low fat milk, which word?
Maximum.
More and less.
More and less. Again, more and less. Elizabeth, तूने maximum क्यों बोला? कितनी चीजें हैं? Full fat milk and low fat milk कितनी चीजें हैं?
2.
2 में maximum लगता है कि more?
More.
Yes. ठीक है. ऐसे नहीं है कि more पहले आ गया बाद में नहीं आएगा. It's not like that. Okay. Years. years में कौन सा word
Increase
लगेगा?
and decrease.
Increase.
Fluctuates, remains stable.
Yes, good.
Maximum.
No maximum. Increase, decrease. We'll use the word increase, decrease. जब दो से ज्यादा चीजें हो पर years ना हो तब हम maximum लगाते हैं. जब years होते हैं हम increase, decrease लगाते हैं. We are going to prefer the word increase and decrease, and I'll tell you the reason why also. We are not going to prefer the word this. Okay. Now let me tell you how to do the comparison. देखो comparison ना simple होता है. We make it tough. So I'll teach you how to do the comparison. देखो. Let's imagine मैंने supermarket A and B का comparison करना है. ठीक है, तो सिर्फ सुपरमार्केट ए एंड बी बदलना है, बाकी चीजें नहीं बदलनी है. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैंने ए एंड बी का करना है तो मैं बस एक साल उठाऊंगा 2008, मैं बाकी साल भूल जाऊंगा. आई विल ओनली लुक एट 2008 और मैं एक ही टाइप का मिल्क उठाऊंगा, फुल फैट मिल्क. मैं बाकी लो फैट को भूल जाऊंगा. सो यहाँ पे फुल फैट मिल्क की प्राइस देखो 2008 में कितनी है 70, यहाँ पे कितनी है 67 से थोड़ी सी ज्यादा 68. कहाँ पे ज्यादा है? ए में ज्यादा है बी से. इज इट क्लियर? ऐसे कंपैरिजन करते हैं. जिस चीज का कंपैरिजन करते हैं उसके अलावा जो चीज होती है उसको सेम रखो. सो आई एम कंपेयरिंग सुपरमार्केट ए एंड बी, तो बस सुपरमार्केट बदलनी है, फुल फैट ही लेना है और ईयर भी सेम ही रखना है. 2008 ईयर भी नहीं बदलना, 2009 पे नहीं आ जाना. 2008 का कंपैरिजन 8 के साथ ही होगा. इज इट क्लियर? मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कुणाल, व्हाटएवर वी आर कंपेयरिंग हमने उसी का कंपैरिजन करना है, उसको बदलना है, बाकी चीजों को नहीं बदलना. तो जैसे मैंने ए और बी का कंपैरिजन करना है तो बस फुल फैट मिल्क ले लो, लो फैट को मत देखो, सिर्फ फुल फैट ले लिया और एक ही साल ले लो 2008. तो 2008 में देखा कहाँ पे ज्यादा है, कहाँ पे ज्यादा आया, ए में ज्यादा है. यहाँ पे 70, अगर आप देखो 69 70 है ए में, और बी में देखो 67 से थोड़ा सा ज्यादा 68 है. तो कहाँ पे प्राइस ज्यादा है फुल फैट मिल्क की? ए में ज्यादा है बी से. इज इट क्लियर? इतना क्लियर है? यस
यस सर.
अच्छा, अब इसका ये मतलब नहीं है आगे करना नहीं, अब आगे कर ही जाओ. तो चलो फुल फैट का हम सेकेंड ईयर में देखते हैं. सेकेंड ईयर में फुल फैट की प्राइस कितनी है? 68. यहाँ पे कितनी? 68. सेम है, लगभग क्या है? सेम है. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. एलिजाबेथ डिस्टर्बेंस है, ठीक है, I'll let you know. ओके, 2010 में देखते हैं 68 है, यहाँ पे 64 है. तो अभी तक पहले साल में ए में ज्यादा थी, सेकेंड ईयर में बराबर थी, थर्ड ईयर में भी ए में ज्यादा है फुल फैट की. नाउ कमिंग टू द फोर्थ ईयर. फोर्थ ईयर में यहाँ पे है 68 67, यहाँ पे 65. अगेन आई थिंक इट्स मोर इन ए, सो आई विल राइट ए. 2011 आल्सो. 2012 66 in A and around 62 in B. So full fat price की तो मिल्क में को जनरली कहाँ पे ज्यादा मिल रही है? ए में. ए में महंगा है. The price of A full fat milk is more in supermarket A in all the years, in nearly all the years. Is it clear? ऐसे करते हैं. सुपरमार्केट ए एंड बी का कंपैरिजन हो गया. किसके रिगार्डिंग? फुल फैट मिल्क में. हमने एक एक करके करना है, ऐसे इकट्ठे कंपैरिजन नहीं होते. सो यू ट्राई टू डू ऑल द कंपैरिजंस टुगेदर, वो नहीं पॉसिबल है. सो 1 year 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 ऐसे करके करना पड़ता है. It's a tedious job, but you have to do it like this. Is this much clear?
Yes.
Okay. Kaushik, is it clear?
So it means two BP1 and BP2 दोनों different होंगे सर. मतलब एक में आप full fat milk का लिखेंगे और दूसरे में low fat.
अभी तो मैं बस कंपैरिजन करना सिखा रहा हूँ. अभी मैं वो बीपी पे आता हूँ. अच्छा, अभी आपने सुपरमार्केट ए का और बी का कंपैरिजन करना है और आपने ये बात लिखी है कि फुल फैट मिल्क की प्राइस ए में ज्यादा है, राइट? अभी हमने ये करा ना. अब आप मेरे को लो फैट की भी करो. तो लो फैट की देखते हैं. यहाँ पे 72 है, यहाँ पे 68 है, ए में ज्यादा है. इसमें देखो ये 70 है, ये भी 70 है, बराबर है लो फैट की. यहाँ पे 66 है, यहाँ पे 68 है, ए में ज्यादा है. यहाँ पे 72 है, यहाँ पे 66 है, ए में ज्यादा है. यहाँ पे 70 है, यहाँ पे 64 है, ए में ज्यादा है. सो ये भी ए में ज्यादा है. तो बोथ लो फैट एंड फुल फैट की मिल्क प्राइसेस आर मोर इन ए than B. This is more, this is more, this is more than this, than this. Is it clear? So I did this work for both the milks for all the years, but one by one, not together. Jasleen, you have a doubt? Okay, no. Ashik, do you have a doubt?
Sir, no, sir. Sir, for both the category, full fat milk and low fat milk, we have to do the same, sir.
Same thing for every year. You have to compare. You're comparing the supermarket, so only change the supermarket. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, we have to mention in the body paragraph, sir. This.
No, I'll show you where to write. Okay. So we are
Okay.
comparing supermarket A and B. And if you look at it, I made 10 comparison. First, I did a comparison between full fat, full fat, 2008, supermarket A with full fat, 2008, supermarket B. Is it clear? And then I did it again for 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2000, for every year I'm doing it. So I did this once for all the years for full fat, and I'll do this again for all the milks for low fat. Is it clear?
Sir,
Yes.
can we do comparison of full fat milk with low fat milk?
वो भी करेंगे, वो next करते हैं. Let's do that now. Let's compare full fat milk and low fat milk. Okay, Navraj, tell me one thing. आप full fat and low fat का करना है तो क्या चीजें सेम रखनी है?
Sir,
क्या
yes.
year भी और दूसरी चीज भी क्या?
Supermarket.
सुपरमार्केट. ना तो सुपरमार्केट बदलना है ना तो ईयर बदलना है. चलो करते हैं, सुपरमार्केट ए ही रखते हैं. और क्या लेते हैं, ईयर कौन सा लेते हैं? 2008. ठीक है, ईयर भी नहीं बदलते. अब मेरे को बताओ, इस ईयर में क्या किसकी प्राइस ज्यादा है?
Sir, low fat milk.
ओके, देन यू कम टू द नेक्स्ट ईयर, किसकी ज्यादा है?
Low fat
Low
milk.
fat milk.
इसमें
Equal.
Equal.
दिस ईयर,
Low fat.
this year,
Low fat.
Fat milk.
in nearly all the years, the price of low fat was more than full fat
Full
in
fat
supermarket A. Is it clear?
A. Yes, sir.
Now you'll do this for B also. So let's do for B. First year it's
Equal.
Equal.
second year,
Low
Increased.
fat.
not increased, more.
Low fat.
More.
More and B, more low fat is more than full fat. Third year,
Right.
Low fat. Milk
More.
more.
2011 also low
Again.
fat, 2012 also low fat.
Low fat.
Is it clear?
Yes, in supermarket B.
Yes. So in both supermarkets, if you looked at it,
The price of low fat milk costs more than the price of full fat milk over the given time.
ठीक है. You said it perfectly. Okay. Okay, I went where, yes. In both supermarkets, price of low fat milk was more than full fat milk. In both the years. In all the over the given period. That's the perfect one, yes. Because it's not in all the years. It's 1 year, it's the same, right? So we will not mess it up by writing all the years. Is it clear? So Nora had a question. Nora said कि कैसे comparisons check करते हैं? Nora देखो, मैं ऐसे करता हूँ, जो ग्राफ में चीजें लिखी हुई है ना, उनको कंपेयर करता हूँ. देखो यहाँ पे सुपरमार्केट ए बी है, तो मुझे पता चल जाता है मेरे को एक कंपैरिजन सुपरमार्केट्स के बीच में करना है. यहाँ पे फुल फैट लो फैट है, मुझे पता चल जाता है एक फुल फैट एंड लो फैट के बीच में करना है. एक यहाँ पे ईयर्स है, मुझे पता चल जाता है कि ईयर्स के बीच में करना है. अगर मेरे को अच्छा ग्राफ लिखना है, मुझे ये तीनों कंपैरिजन करने चाहिए. अगर मैं 2 करूंगा तो अच्छे बैंड्स नहीं आएंगे, तीनों करने. अब मैं क्या करता हूँ, 3 है ना, 2 मैं ओवरऑल में कर देता हूँ, 1 मैं बॉडी पैराग्राफ में करता हूँ, 1 मैं रख लेता हूँ. जैसे कि ईयर्स वाला मैंने सोचा हुआ है कि मैं बॉडी पैराग्राफ में कर लूंगा. अभी हमने लो फैट एंड फुल फैट का कर दिया, और पहले हमने सुपरमार्केट्स का भी कर दिया था कि सुपरमार्केट ए में जो प्राइसेस हैं वो ज्यादा हैं किसके कंपैरिजन में? सुपरमार्केट बी के कंपैरिजन में. इज इट क्लियर? सो यहाँ पे हम ये भी लिख देंगे ऑल्सो करके, द प्राइसेस ऑफ बोथ द मिल्क्स, prices of both the milks were higher in supermarket A than B over the given period. So these are the 2 features that we'll write in the overall. First feature is a comparison between low fat and full fat. The second feature is a comparison between supermarket A and B. Is this part clear? Is this much clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's come to body paragraphs. Okay, so overall I've written here, I'm going to copy paste, and we're done with the overall. Okay, so are you clear how to do the comparison now?
Yes.
Okay. Chalo.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, for the we are mentioning overall statement. Only one graph is enough for comparing, or otherwise supermarket A, supermarket B, full fat milk for each category to compare, sir.
We compared everything now. See, we compare in all the years it was similar. So you did not have any
Yeah.
problem. See, look, all the years low fat milk is more than full fat. Low fat more. See, gray line is bigger than the black line. Gray line
Yes.
bigger than the black line, bigger than the black line. So it's more. So you
Okay.
here also it's the same, right? But we did the comparison for 10. We did the comparison 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had to do the comparison 10 times. There's no shortcut to it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sir, it means in graphs, you have to look at similarity. Yes, we have to look at all the features given, right? We have to look at all of them. Okay, now let's come to the body paragraphs really quickly. So in detail, that's how I start. I'll tell you why do I do in detail. Can someone tell me why am I writing in detail? Anyone? Why?
Paragraph.
Yes, why do I start with in detail? Why? Why am I using this?
To
Sir,
differentiate.
because
Yes, Elizabeth.
सर सुपरमार्केट ए और सुपरमार्केट बी को हमने डिटेल में बताना है.
Yes, but so okay. So my question in general is why body paragraph in detail? Why do we write? See, अभी हमने overview बताया. Overview में हम ऊपर से बता रहे हैं. That's overall. अब हम detail में आने जा रहे हैं because अब हम data देने वाले. Yes, Palak, you're right because now we are going to give figures. अब हम figures detail में बताने जा रहे हैं. यहाँ पे हमने कोई figures नहीं दी थी. Overall, we didn't give any data. We just told price was more. But now in the body paragraph, we are also going to mention the data. That is why we are writing in detail. Is it clear?
Yes, so जिसमें हम परसेंटेज भी बताएंगे कि क्या
Yes.
किस में रहा.
हाँ, ठीक है, perfect है. तो ठीक है. Now I made a simple thing. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to first write low fat milk from 2008 to 2012. Then I'm going to write full fat milk from 2008 to 2012 for supermarket A. That's what I'm going to do in first graph. And in the second graph, I'm going to do the same thing. First full fat milk, then low fat milk from 2008 to 2012. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I've decided. Yes.
Sir, can you tell me how to divide the body paragraphs?
Okay. So for me, I did it simple. Supermarket A firstly, paragraph 1. And in second paragraph, it's going to be supermarket B. That's option number 1. The second option can be first supermarket A, full fat, and supermarket B also full fat. And then in the second paragraph, supermarket A low fat and supermarket B also low fat. So you can divide the paragraphs like this. These are the two ways. So so either you can
Which one is better, sir? The
There's
chances
no-
of mistakes
There's
tend
no
to make
better.
low.
So chances of mistakes are less when you do the first body paragraph or the first graph and then the second one, because you don't have to look up and down again and again. You'll be looking up and then you'll finish it and then you'll come down. But both are correct. Whatever you feel comfortable with, you can write. Is it clear? So एक तरह से हमने पैराग्राफ ऐसे डिवाइड करें, पहले पैराग्राफ में सुपरमार्केट और दूसरे में दूसरी सुपरमार्केट, या पहले पैराग्राफ में फुल फैट एंड दूसरे में लो फैट मिल्क. या तो मिल्क के टाइप से डिवाइड कर दो या सुपरमार्केट के टाइप से डिवाइड कर दो. योर विश. बोथ आर करेक्ट. यस.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
If we are mentioning if we are comparing in two ways, so we
Yes.
have to go in detail for any one of them or the third one.
For the third one, if we have three features, if we have three comparisons, then I'll go for the third one. If we have
Okay.
only two, then I'll go one in detail.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. So to make good coherence, we need to divide it increase decrease only. Yes, coherence ज़्यादा अच्छा आता है जब हम increase decrease में divide करते हैं. प्रीत second feature मैं explain करूँ तो देखो prices जो both milks की थी वो supermarket A में ज़्यादा थी. हमने A and B का comparison करा था. ए में प्राइसेस ज्यादा थी, बी में कम थी। अगर आप देखो यहाँ पे 70 है, यहाँ पे 68 है, तो प्राइसेस जो थी वो ए में ज्यादा थी बी के कंपैरिजन में, दोनों मिल्क्स की। सारे सालों में हमने कंपैरिजन करा था और हमें पता चला था कि ए में प्राइसेस ज्यादा हैं बी के कंपैरिजन में। तो हमारा सेकंड फीचर ये लिखा गया था कि ए में प्राइसेस ज्यादा है। सो वो वाला फीचर लिखा है सेकंड फीचर, प्राइसेस ऑफ बोथ द मिल्क्स वर हायर इन सुपरमार्केट ए दैन बी ओवर द गिवन। इज इट क्लियर दिस डाउट?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in first introduction, whether we have to mention a unit, sir, unit.
No, not necessary. I would say it's a wastage of time and wastage of space because you're going to write it when you write the body paragraphs. So why waste
Well-
time? I don't do it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now I'm starting. Okay. So now let me tell you how to divide it. Let's see. So I'm writing supermarket A first. So first I'm going to write about low fat, full fat milk. So I'll start with first year. Always start with the first year data. Never ever not start with the first year data. Always give it. So I'll start in detail. The price of full fat milk in supermarket A was 70 pence per liter in 2008. So I have given the data for the first year for full fat because I'm going to talk about full fat first, full fat milk. Okay. So after I've given the data for the first year, I look at the trend. So what is happening to this? I think it is continuously decreasing. I look at it, it's 70, it's coming down, it's never going up, it's always coming down and it coming down, and directly it reaches 66 or 67 here. So I'll finish it off in 2012. I'll directly come to 2012 because it's directly decreasing. Okay, I know here it's stable, but I'm ignoring that part. It's decreasing only in my opinion. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that much detail. Otherwise it will be very long. So I'll directly write the price decreased from 2008 to 2012. Yes.
सर जब हम सेंटेंस लिखते हैं दिस फिगर रोज टू डैश
Yes.
परसेंट, सर
हाँ.
वहां पर इन ईयर आना है और ईयर आएगा?
In year आएगा या फिर by the year आएगा.
ओके, दिस फिगर
I'll show you the sentence. ठीक है. So देखो.
सर एक रीच्ड वाला भी बता देना, दिस फिगर रोज एंड रीच्ड डैश परसेंट इन और बाय.
Okay, we'll make different type of, see, when I'll make different sentences every time and I'll show you. Okay, so the first approach is over the next 5 years, अगले 5 सालों में मैं सीधा ऐसे लिख देता हूँ, the price, यहाँ पे अब दोबारा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है और full fat milk, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हमने क्या लिखा हुआ है, the price, वही वाली price. इसलिए अब आप मेरे से पूछते हो ना कैसे शॉर्टकट्स करते हैं, कैसे छोटा करते हैं. देखो, the price रिपीट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, full fat milk रिपीट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि वो पहले भी लिखा हुआ है क्या. और यहाँ पे मैं भूल गया था द प्राइस डिक्रीज्ड कंटिन्यूअसली. Okay, it's making it an error. I'll fix it. And reached let's say the final year price kitna, around 66. It's 66. So I'll write 66 pence per liter in 2012. And over the next 5 years, the price decreased and it reached 66 pence per liter in 2012. Is this clear? Yes, Nora, what you wrote is correct. Is this clear? जिसने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि क्लियर है रीच्ड वाला सेंटेंस? Okay, Nishta, is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. अब मेरे को बता अब मैं क्या करूंगा. चलो, now I am asking your question. What will I do next?
अब हम लो फैट का.
हाँ, लो फैट की बात करेंगे सुपरमार्केट ए में ही.
यस सर.
एग्जामिनर
नो सर, आई थिंक दूसरा पैराग्राफ इसके लिए स्टार्ट करेंगे और उसमें हम बताएंगे कि बेसिकली लो फैट में हमने क्या देखा और उसका डिक्लाइन हुआ.
यस, बट फिर मेरे को 4 पैराग्राफ्स बनाने पड़ेंगे ना, दैट विल बी टू लॉन्ग. फिर सुपरमार्केट ए, yeah, so I'll write it in this paragraph, but I'll use a connector to tell the examiner.
While.
Not while.
While, no, by in contrast.
However. No, wait.
However,
I am not making any comparison. I'm just telling the examiner I'm coming to low fat milk. That's it. I'm telling the examiner I'm not talking about low fat milk. That's it. अभी कोई comparison कैसे while आएगा देखो ये क्या हो रहा है decrease low fat भी क्या हो रहा है
decrease.
तो why would
Please.
while क्यों use करूंगा तो while तो तब आता है ना अगर ट्रेंड ऑपोजिट हो उनका तो ट्रेंड ही सेम है द ट्रेंड इज सेम अगर लिखता तो सिमिलरली बन सकता था बस पर while तो बिल्कुल नहीं लिख सकता था ओके कमिंग टू लो फैट मिल्क अब मैं पहले इसकी प्राइस बताऊंगा द प्राइस इन 2008 in supermarket A was कितना stood at around 72 pence, right? अब मेरे को इसका बताओ इसको मैं कहाँ तक लिखूंगा सीधा 2012 तक कि नहीं
Yes sir, directly लिख सकते हैं.
Decrease.
No, we will not directly
No,
write
sir,
it.
but
सर 2010 तक लिख सकते हैं बस
क्योंकि 2010 के बाद वो इंक्रीज हुआ अगर आप सीधा डिक्रीज
sir.
लिखोगे तो वो गलत हो जाएगा
यस
पर कई बार ऐसा
Yes, sir,
करना भी
correct.
पड़ता है कई बार जब ग्राफ लंबा हो रहा है तो हम ये करते हैं पर अभी ग्राफ अभी इतना लंबा नहीं हो रहा आई थिंक वी कैन मैनेज इट तो मैं यहाँ तक लिखूंगा फिर मैं लिखूंगा इंक्रीज हुआ फिर डिक्रीज हुआ तो फिर आई विल राइट इट लाइक दैट ठीक है सो इन द नेक्स्ट 2 years और बिटवीन 2008 and 2010 and 2010 the price decreased by now यहाँ पे डिफरेंस लिखते हैं प्राइस में कितना डिफरेंस आया दैट्स व्हाई वी रिटन द वर्ड बाय सो यहाँ से 72 से 68 हो गया सो बाय अराउंड 4 pence per liter so by 4 pence per liter price decrease हो गया that's what I've written अच्छा 4 pence से decrease हो गया वो पहुंच गया अराउंड 68 now I'm here अब मेरे को बताओ मैं अब क्या करूंगा इसके बाद क्या हुआ
It increase.
अच्छा यहाँ पे मेरे को एक कनेक्टर लगाना है कंपैरिजन कौन सा वर्ड आएगा
However,
ओके बाय हाउएवर फिर दोस्त व्हाई नॉट बाय कंट्रास्ट
Yes, by contrast.
सेम सब्जेक्ट
सेम सब्जेक्ट हाउएवर आएगा बिकॉज इट्स द सेम सब्जेक्ट बाय कंट्रास्ट गलत होगा हाउएवर आफ्टर 2010 द प्राइस increased and stood at अब यहाँ पे 2011 का नहीं बताना तो छोड़ दो और सीधा 2012 पे चले जाओ क्योंकि वरना बहुत लंबा हो जाएगा तो 2010 के बाद प्राइस इंक्रीज हुआ and stood at 70 pence in 2012 is it clear तो थोड़ा बहुत तो करना पड़ता है डिटेल को थोड़ा बहुत कम करना पड़ता है तो यहाँ पे मैंने ऐसे डिटेल को कम कर दिया is it clear and however clear है for everyone why however why not by contrast
However, because एक ही
Subject.
चीज का है.
हाँ और एक और रीजन है however का बट क्यों नहीं आया निष्ठा
So
Sentence is not one.
सेंटेंसेस को ज्वाइन नहीं करा चलो निष्ठा बताओ अगर मेरे को बट लगाना हो मैं क्या चेंज करता यहाँ पे क्या खा जाता है यहाँ का फुल स्टॉप सेंटेंसेस को क्या कर देता ज्वाइन और बट से पहले कॉमा आ जाता
right, sir, right.
क्लियर
Yes, sir.
good so now we are going to now I need another now I'm going to come to the second paragraph चलो कौन सा कनेक्टर आएगा बताओ
with to
yes दोबारा
By contrast.
by contrast क्या
On
डिफरेंस
the other hand, can't you use?
अच्छा क्या फर्क है बताओ ए और बी में क्या फर्क है क्या आप फर्क बता रहे हो मुझे कोई फर्क है उसमें भी तो प्राइस डिक्रीज ही हो रही है कि नहीं
sir with regards to
देखो अभी कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं हो रहा है अभी वही बात होनी है अभी बस तुम बी की बात कर रहे हो तो वो मेरे को बोल रहा है विद रिगार्ड टू विल यूज दैट विद रिगार्ड टू सुपरमार्केट बी कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं बनता है यू आर यूजिंग विद ऑन द अदर हैंड विदाउट अ रीजन तुम कह रहे हो बस ये फर्क है पहले हम सुपरमार्केट ए की बात कर रहे थे अब हम सुपरमार्केट बी की कर रहे हैं इसलिए ऑन द अदर हैंड तब लगाओ जब दोनों में कुछ गलत डिफरेंस हो जैसे कि सुपरमार्केट ए में प्राइस इंक्रीज हुई हो सुपरमार्केट बी में डिक्रीज हुई हो ऑन द अदर हैंड नहीं आएगा विदाउट रीजन नहीं लगाना
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
क्लियर Okay, so with regard to supermarket B,
सर रिगार्ड आएगा कि रिगार्ड्स?
देखो अगर यहाँ पे मल्टीपल चीजें होती तो रिकॉर्ड्स आता है, यहाँ पे एक सिंगल चीज है इसलिए रिकॉर्ड आ रहा है।
ओके सर।
ठीक है, तो अगर यहाँ पे होता विद रिगार्ड्स टू सुपरमार्केट ए एंड बी तो फिर यहाँ पे विद रिगार्ड्स आता, क्योंकि यहाँ पे दो चीजें आ रही होती, पर यहाँ पे एक ही चीज है इसलिए रिकॉर्ड आ रहा है। ओके, ये ना मेरे को माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑफिस ने सिखाया, वो मेरी गलती निकाल देता है। ठीक है, आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम इट। ठीक है, ओके, so with regard to supermarket A, again we'll do the price of both the milks stood at 68 pence in year 1. In year 1 के लिए हम लिख देते हैं in 2008। दोनों की मिल्क की प्राइस कितनी थी? सुपरमार्केट बी आना है, सॉरी यहाँ पे ओके, बोथ की प्राइस इतनी थी। अब हम लिखेंगे, अब हम फुल फैट की बात कर लेते हैं, लो फैट की बात कर, फुल फैट की पहले स्टेबल रही फिर डिक्रीज हो गई, हम ऐसे कर लेते हैं, यहाँ तक स्टेबल है फिर डिक्रीज हो गई, और उसका कर देंगे बी का कि पहले इंक्रीज हुई फिर डिक्रीज हो गई। तो इसका स्टेबल हुआ, इसका इंक्रीज हुआ 2009 तक, फिर ये डिक्रीज है, दोनों डिक्रीज है, 2009 से दोनों डिक्रीज है, 2009 तक ये स्टेबल है, ये इंक्रीज है। दैट्स व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू राइट। ओवर द नेक्स्ट ईयर the price of full fat milk remained stable while the price of low fat increased by 2 pence per liter. Is this much clear? अगले साल तक फुल फैट की मिल्क स्टेबल रही, फुल फैट की प्राइस स्टेबल रही, while the price of low fat increased by 2 pence. फ्लक्चुएशन नहीं लिख सकते पर बहुत छोटा हो जाएगा ना कुणाल, फिर तो ग्राफ ही खत्म हो गया, फिर मेरे को थोड़ा सा तो पैराग्राफ बनाना है, फिर तो बनेगा ही नहीं, बस लिख दूंगा फ्लक्चुएट हुआ है तो फिर ठीक है। तो हम यहाँ तक इंक्रीज है वो लिखेंगे, फिर डिक्रीज लिख देंगे ना। फ्लक्चुएशन हुई है, तो फ्लक्चुएशन कैसे हुई थी, पहले इंक्रीज हुआ था फिर डिक्रीज हुआ था, तो इसलिए हम ऐसे कर रहे हैं। इज इट क्लियर? अच्छा, अब बस आफ्टर 2010 2009 the price of both the milks decreased and stood at respectively वाला sentence बना देते हैं, stood at 62 pence and 64 pence respectively in 2012, and दोनों इतने पे खड़ी थी 2012 पे, दोनों इतने पे थी 62 and 64 pence respectively. That's it, and the graph is done. And if you look at the length is also pretty good. If I talk about the length, देखो एक पैराग्राफ की लेंथ आ रही है, मतलब I would say this is less than 50 words, so it's pretty good. Yes, formal आटा use कर सकते हैं, and the price of former was 28. वो वैसे करके कर सकते हैं, फॉर्मल आटा यूज कर सकते हैं, जब दो चीजें हो फॉर्मल आटा कर सकते हैं। And the price of farmer stood at 62 while the price of latter stood at 64 pence in 2012. Is it clear? Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay, it was a long class. I'll end it here, and I hope you all learned something. Usage of connectors, how to make it simple, how to make comparison. Kaushik, do you have a doubt?
Sir, will you please post the class in app, sir?
Can you repeat?
Sir, today class, post this class video in app, sir.
Yes, I'll post it. Did you learn something, Kaushik, today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any other requests or doubts?
क्लास बहुत अच्छी थी और बहुत अच्छे से आपने एक्सप्लेन किया। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस।
You're welcome, Nisha. Okay. ठीक है, Kunal, I'm happy you learned something. Chalo, we'll continue next week. You're welcome, everyone. Okay, so thank you. And I hope अच्छा exam जिसका भी है, ठीक है, whoever has an exam soon, I hope it goes well. Okay, I'll end it here. Okay. You're welcome, Jasleen. Yes, I'll upload the recording, Divya. Okay, I'll end the meeting here now.